Comprehension questions for Year 3. An interview with Rebecca Adlington. I've read the text, but I know I'm going to keep looking back at it as I answer the questions. Number 1. In your own words, explain why Rebecca's parents wanted her to learn to swim. Okay, I'll look back at the text, but I'll remember that they're asking me to put my answer in my own words, not to copy out a phrase from the text. I know that having read it, that's going to be in the first part of the text, and I can see the word parents, so that's a good start. My parents took me and my older sisters to swimming lessons so that when we went on holiday, they could leave us in the pool without being scared. Okay, so I found the answer. Her parents wanted her to learn to swim so that they could leave them in the pool without being scared. But I can't use those words in my answer because it's asked me to put the answer in my own words. So, they could leave us in the pool without being scared. Sounds like the parents were worried that if the children couldn't swim, that they would panic in the pool and maybe have an accident or something. So the parents didn't want to have to worry about that being the case. So I'll say Rebecca's parents wanted her to learn to swim because they didn't want to have to worry when the children were left in the pool. So I'm going to use that word worry to describe how the parents would feel if they couldn't swim. Number 2. Why did Rebecca think that swimming is a sport that anyone can enjoy? That anyone can enjoy, right. What I need to do then is look through, not for things about necessarily what she thinks is good about it, but some kind of reference that she makes to lots of other people swimming, an everyone or an anyone sentence. And I can see here, there's nothing like it, everyone should experience it. But I'm going to read on because I want something more specific that talks about a range of people. So I'm reading on to the next bit. At my local pool at 7 a.m, you'll see the older guys swimming next to school children. It's a wonderful contrast and shows that swimming is for everyone. So she's saying here that anyone can do it, and the evidence she gives is that you see older people and younger people swimming. So I think she's saying it's a sport anyone can enjoy because she knows that both old people and young people do go swimming. Number 3. How much time does Rebecca usually spend training each week? Now let's bear in mind this isn't a maths exercise, but it looks like an amount of time we need to find. It might be that we don't find an actual number, but we have to do a little bit of work on it. Let's see now. It's talking about training, so I'm going to quickly skim through the subheadings for the word training. And here we are. What's your training routine? I do about 10 sessions a week at 2.5 hours each. Okay. What I'm not going to do is do that calculation. If I can, that's fine, and I can put that answer down. But if I'm not confident about that bit and I want to focus on my reading skills, what I will do is put it in a way where somebody could do the calculation if they wanted to. So I could say she does 10 lots of 2.5 hours. So I could give the calculation, but not necessarily do the answer, and that would be fine. So my answer would be, Rebecca does 10 lots of 2.5 hours, or I might say she does 10 times 2.5 hours. I could calculate it if I wanted to, though, and say that 10 lots of 2.5 is actually 25. So my answer could be, Rebecca does 25 hours a week, but it would be acceptable to say she does 10 lots of 2.5 hours. What I can't do is just say what exactly is in the text here, 10 sessions a week at 2.5 hours each, because that wouldn't show that I'd understood what that meant. It's better to actually put a little calculation in there if you can, or give the actual number. Next one. Number 4. Write down 2 things you think motivate Rebecca to spend so much time training. Okay. I look for the bit that says training routine, but here she factually says what it is she does, but I'm not reading anything about motivation there. I maybe need to read a bit further or go back a bit, but I'll read on because I can see the word motivated there. That might be a useful place to look. Let's see. What does she do that makes her really enjoy it, or want to do it, rather? She says she trains with other people. That could be an answer. Tricky one. I might have to look elsewhere here. This is sort of about staying motivated. I might need to go back a little bit. There might be answers scattered through the text for this one. She does say things like, there's something really fun about it, so maybe I could use that as an answer. Obviously, the training isn't too much of a problem to her because it's something she enjoys. So I suppose that could be why she spends a lot of time training. That could be one answer. Training, of course, is quite serious business. I wonder if it's to do with the fact that she likes being in competitions. Is there anything here that says that she enjoys competing? I love being in the water whether I'm competing or not. She trains with people and that really helps. That could be an answer. So I think there are probably several things I could pick out throughout the text here for that one. So I'm going to go with that she really enjoys swimming. Clearly that would be something that would motivate you to do things. And I'm going to go with this one, that she trains with other people and that really helps. That would be a good answer then, wouldn't it? Because it's talking about staying motivated and she's saying that it really helps. Yes, I'm going to go with she enjoys it and she trains with other people, which she finds helpful. So that was a tricky one where I had to look, I feel, through quite a lot of the text to get an answer there. It wasn't just about picking out one thing from one place. Number 5. Which of the following pieces of advice was not suggested by Rebecca as a way to help people stay motivated? Circle 1. Right, really important to do careful reading here. It's which of the following pieces of advice was not suggested by Rebecca that I'm looking for, and it is only one piece that I'm looking for. So I'm going to end up circling one thing in the answer to number 5. Okay, I will go for the section talking about motivation because that's a key word in that sentence. So I'll stick with this paragraph and see if I can find the answers here. Okay, a piece of advice to set targets. Is that one thing she suggests? Because if it is, I'm not going to circle it. So I'll quickly whiz through this. Looking for something to do with setting targets. I can see that word targets. Yes, she says set yourself targets. Right, I'm not going to circle set targets because that is something she suggests. B, go swimming regularly. Let's see now. I'm looking for that word regularly in this text and I can see it here, so that looks like a good sentence to go for. My advice is to swim with a friend regularly. Yep, so she does suggest that you swim regularly. I'm not going to circle that. C, swim with people of different ages. There is something about swimming for people who are older and younger, but that is actually something I read earlier in an answer I gave earlier, so I know it's back up here somewhere, not down in the motivation bit. She just makes the observation that you see older guys, old people, swimming with young people. So that's about swimming for people of different ages, but it's not a reason that she gives for staying motivated. It's just an observation she makes about the fact that everybody can swim, not about how it keeps them going. So I think that's pretty definitely then the one that I should circle. It does say only circle one, so I don't really need to read on, but if I wasn't too sure whether I'd got the right one here, I might read this one and check it, because if I decide that I'm really confident that this is the one I should go for, I might need to rethink and relook at this one. So I'll just have a look at this one, vary your training, and see if this is suggested by Rebecca, because if it is suggested by her as motivation, I won't circle it. Okay, I'll go back to my motivation thing and look for something about varying your training. I'm looking for keywords, vary and training. as I go through this, but I can't see those words. I wonder if she's used a different phrase to mean vary your training. I'm going to look at this one. It's also good to mix things up. To mix things up means to change things around. To change is to vary. So I think here is what she's suggesting. Then she's suggesting vary your training when she says mix things up. Yes, because she goes on to say practice different strokes, use kickboards, set yourself targets. Yes, she's saying make changes. So I think that phrase vary your training does not actually appear in the text, but she does suggest it using other words when she says mix things up. So that is something she suggests in her motivation bit, so I'm not going to circle it. Yep, I'm happy that swim with people of different ages was the one thing that she did not suggest as a way to motivate yourself. Okay, I'm happy with that. Number 6. Do you think Rebecca has a competitive personality? Explain your answer. And remember, that bit is really important. It's not enough to say a yes or a no. I'm going to go with the answer yes here because from what I've read, I don't remember her saying anything negative about being competitive or not wanting to compete. In fact, right at the beginning, I recall she says, swimming with my sisters gave me extra motivation as I always wanted to keep up with them. She wants to be able to swim as fast as her sisters, so I'm going to use that as my reason for saying she does have a competitive personality. So my answer is yes, she has a competitive personality because she always wants to do as well as other people. Number 7. Do you think this interview would persuade people to do more swimming? Explain your answer. So again, I could go for yes or no, but what's important is the justification that I give, the explanation I give for my answer of yes or no, and that explanation has to come from the text. So, for example, if I say, this interview would persuade more people to do swimming, I might then go on to say, because I love swimming and I think it's really great fun. But that's not what the question's asking. It's asking about the interview. What is it about this writing that would make people want to do more swimming? So I would look for answers here to justify my answer yes. And that's going to be fairly easy. It's uniquely fun. There's nothing like it. Here, it works every muscle in your body. It's healthy and safe. So it's really easy to find reasons why this article would persuade more people to do swimming because it's very positive all the way through. So I've fairly easily found a couple of answers there. I would say it would persuade people to do more swimming because it says it's fun and it's healthy and safe. So I'm using the text to answer that question, not my own personal opinion about it or other facts that I know about it. And that's that.